All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everyone to our Wednesday night Elite Honors Academy webinar. Tonight is part 2 of this whole aspect of building your infrastructure. Last week we talked about some different things, and I'll just do a very short review. But as we go through tonight, I'm going to give things to you in bits and pieces between tonight, next Wednesday night, and the following Wednesday night. Tonight I'm going to show you some overall strategies. Next Wednesday night I'm going to show you a very specific thing that I'm working on and exactly what I'll be doing. And then on the last Wednesday of this month we'll kind of pull it all together. And the things I want to show you tonight are things that you can universally apply no matter which marketing strategy you're choosing and which pond you're fishing in. And as I go through tonight's presentation, I would like to have the potential to role play with someone, but also I definitely want to have your questions and interaction as we go through this, because it's important that we talk with each other and we can help begin to understand some of these things. Now, last week we basically started off with this whole thing that you need to have a mission statement, and I've bought into this mission statement because I believe it. I mean, I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe it. This mission statement has 2 parts to it, and I believe both parts. Blessing lives with better health as we build a vibrant network marketing business. When I first got involved in Synergy Worldwide, I've always been a believer in their products. I saw their products personally work for me. I saw Pro-Oxide Plus work tremendously for my wife Sherry in taking her blood pressure from 160/90 to 112/68. But I didn't have a lot of confidence in the business model of network marketing. I don't believe that anymore. I understand Synergy Worldwide. I understand the stability of Synergy Worldwide. I understand the ethics of Synergy Worldwide. And I understand where Synergy Worldwide's going. And I understand the building block that Synergy Worldwide has put in place through the Elite Honors Program that completely matches my business philosophy. And that business philosophy is that you need to have customers. And so when you look at the Elite Honors Program in Synergy Worldwide, their core building block, it is a combination of customers and business builders. And because we've put marketing systems in place, which is, I'm again a firm believer, when I was in my own business with my own health clubs, or even when I worked for other people in other things that I did in my life, if you didn't have a marketing strategy to attract customers, you most likely weren't going to stay in business for very long. And we're the same thing. So you have to have a mission statement. I've used this mission statement and variations of this mission statement various times this week. I haven't counted them up, but in the email that I sent, I definitely know that I've done at least 10 of them between tonight's call and last Wednesday night, where I did a variation of blessing lives with better health, as well as building a vibrant network marketing business, where the applications of that mission statement was truly applicable. Blessing lives with better health is always applicable. The vibrant network marketing business can vary according to the situation. I understand my marketing strategies, and because I understand my marketing strategies, I know where I'm going with this, and I'm going to be able to then take the marketing strategy of eliminate heart disease, as well as combine that with some other things like athletic performance. And next week you're going to see a platform that I've been working on with two other individuals, and I'm going to show you what we're doing. And I'm going to show you that there's multiple applications to what we're doing, so you don't have to do everything that we're doing. You can do parts of it and still be successful. But you have to have your core infrastructure in place, because without that infrastructure, you're not going to be able to build the large synergy business that you would like to build. You have to have clear and concise testimonials for yourself personally, for other people that you know that you've had the opportunity to benefit, and you need to have it in both product and business. So you need to work on that if you don't have it. And as I've shared in other webinars that we've done, I'm always here to help you. All you have to do is pick up a phone and call me, or you can email me, and I'll always work with you on how to craft your mission statement, if you need work on that, how you can identify your marketing strategy, and definitely how you can get some clear and concise testimonials for both product and business so that you have them in place and be able to use them when they're appropriate. Again, we have some tremendous resource tools. I saw Penny Murphy come on. Penny, do you mind unmuting yourself? And I would just like to chat with you for a couple minutes.
Certainly. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Now, Penny, last night you took advantage of one of the resource tools that we have available to our Synergy family. Would you share with people the resource tool that you took advantage of last night?
Yes, I was able to invite someone to listen to the Synergy Opportunity presentation that Dan does on Tuesday nights. And she joined me from her home. I was on the call from my home. Dan was in Chicago. And it was an amazing, fabulous call.
So what was your response? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't phrase that question correctly. What was your guest's response to last night's presentation?
Well, she was very impressed. She was impressed with the library and all the tools and the that were provided to her. She also was very pleased with the layout of everything. It was very concise and simple and easy to maneuver through. She is going to be doing some more, trying more of our product. She is very excited about the business, and I love the fact that one time you asked her, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what interested you from the presentation tonight, being a customer or being in the business? And she is very interested in doing the business, and it was just a wonderful presentation, and she couldn't say enough about it.
Now, I'm asking Penny to share this information with you, not so I can get a pat on the back, but I want you to understand that from another person's perspective, what they're seeing. Now, Penny, I've got one final question for you,
okay.
And then if you have anything that you want to add, certainly go ahead. But your friend, if I remember correctly, her name is Joan.
Correct.
Your friend Joan, does she have any kind of background in this area to make a comparison in terms of what we've developed for our Synergy family?
Yeah, she has probably about 25 years of marketing experience, selling ads to different newspapers, and does a lot of her own, not YouTube, but what do I call it? Pages that we, for her interest. Like, she's in photography, so she has a lot of websites for her photography.
So she's a person who understands marketing because she's done it for herself, as well as she's done it for other clients.
Correct.
Okay.
And the best thing for me in all of this is, and she even brought it up last night, in doing the presentation and seeing the presentation that she saw last night, I would never have been able to have put it together, been as so concise, be able to share all the information that we have available to people personally. And one of the things she said to me is that she was so glad that I had not approached her when I was in a different group, because I didn't have the skills or the tools. And she says, and she says she could tell a difference in how I feel and how I present and believe. And she says it's contagious. And she says we're going to work great together.
Okay, so you've added a couple things that I think are important to make sure that we address, and that is the aspect that the tools and resources that you personally now have access to has increased your confidence in what you're doing, and that then affects other people that you're talking to in terms of your belief system and what you're doing becoming their belief system. And then one other thing that you talked about the two of you working together to harness each other's talents with the skills that are available to you to be able to achieve something of significance. And I added the something of significance because I'm making an assumption that that's what you guys are talking about.
Exactly. Is exactly what we were talking about and where we feel that we're going.
Okay. All right. So I appreciate your perspective, Penny. I appreciate you having a guest because you did what we're supposed to do. You invited someone to look at an opportunity presentation. That opportunity presentation last night has two parts to it. And you mentioned, Penny, that I asked her a question. I specifically asked her that question because that's what that presentation is all designed to do. It's to get you to be able to ask that same question. Joan, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a product user, customer, or do you see yourself as a business builder wanting to join us in this rewarding business of saving lives? However you do it, you're giving that person two options. You'll use your own voice, use your own cadence, but you're giving them two options to make a choice. I gave her two choices, not three, but two. Product user, customer, business builder. And then I shut up and let her answer the question. And then she told me where she wants to go with this. And then from there it was just a matter of discussion, seeing if she had other questions and things of that nature. And what I want to share with people on tonight's call is that you have resource tools. And as we make these resource tools available to our Synergy family, as well as we show people who are not in our Synergy family the kinds of resource tools that we have, professional people who might not be network marketers, but professional people who can appreciate what is being built and done to help you be successful in marketing, you're going to be able to attract people like Joan to want to join you in the Synergy business, and you're going to be able to attract other network marketers who want to join you in riding the wave of Synergy's growth over the next 5 years. Now, does anyone on the call have any questions or comments to Penny or myself before I move on in the next part of tonight's presentation?
Well done, Penny. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woohoo.
Well, we want to have everyone get that well done. Now, I have two pictures here and a question. So you can all see the two pictures, and here's my question. Which building has the better foundation? The outhouse or what used to be the Freedom Tower, which now called the One World Trade Center?
Dan?
Yes.
This is Nanette. I am just going to say the outhouse.
Okay, so you think the outhouse has a better foundation?
Yes.
Okay.
Just plain
All
devil.
right,
Yeah,
so-
I do. Okay, so I'll mute that.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. So does everyone agree with Nanette, or do you feel that there's another building that has a better foundation?
Dan, it's Donald.
Yes, Donald.
If this is not a trick question, I would say the One World Trade Center.
Yeah, this is not a trick question at all. And Elon also put in the Freedom Tower. If you build a crappy foundation, then that's what you'll get. To build a large Synergy organization, you need to build a rock-solid foundation that you and others can build on. And that's what we're building for our Synergy family. Now, we may not be as impressive as what the World Trade Center, One World Trade Center, or Freedom Tower is, but there is huge amount of structural work that went into this building before it even got above the ground. And then even after it's being built, I didn't show you the finished product. I wanted to show you that the glass is being put on while they're still working at the top and still working at the bottom in terms of creating the infrastructure. So you don't have to have all your infrastructure done before you can still get your project going, but you do need to have a solid infrastructure in place, and the better your infrastructure is, the greater your Synergy organization is going to be. So if you want a large Synergy organization, then you need to tap into the infrastructure that you have already in place and begin to use it. And the next part of this is you got to learn how to fish in the correct ponds. Now, Last week we talked about Facebook as being a fishing pond. YouTube is a fishing pond. Meetup.com is a fishing pond. Local events are fishing pond. Trade shows are all fishing ponds. These are just some examples of where people are at. You want to go where people are at. We're in the network marketing business. That means that we need to be talking to people, not rabbits, because rabbits will eat a lot of lettuce, but they're not going to help us sell much product. So we got to be talking to people. People have issues. They have pain points in their life. Those pain points can be health pain points, which will allow us to move product, or they could be financial pain points, or they could be lack of time pain points, and other types of things that are pain aspects in their life that we can offer them a solution. So these 5 examples, or these 5 areas, are just examples of where people are at. There are other platforms that are out there. There's other social platforms that I like, Twitter and LinkedIn, that are all viable aspects of being able to help you create contact with people. You just need to have a daily game plan. You need to have your infrastructure in place and then have a daily game plan or plan of action to increase your probability of success. Because even if you have your infrastructure built, if I don't have a daily game plan of engaging with people, then my probability of success is going to be pretty low. Can have a beautiful infrastructure, but if no one is seeing it, or if I'm not using it because I'm not allowing people to see it, then I'm not going to have the ability to be successful. I've just got to go out there and meet people. Now, as Penny talked about, because she has certain things in place, because she has taken the time to learn certain skills, as well as we've put certain platforms within our Synergy family in terms of resource tools, videos that are available to her, her confidence level has grown, which then translates to the people that she's talking to, where they can understand and feel her confidence and her belief system, which then affects their belief system. And it has a positive outcome. So, I'm going to show you next week an 84-day game plan. All right? So, anyone want to know why it's an 84-day game plan instead of a 90-day game plan?
How about taking weekends off?
Okay, close. But the concept that you're talking about is correct.
Dan?
Yes.
It's Nanette with the outhouse. Somebody had to pick that. I mean, I was willing to be the person to pick it. For some reason, I thought that would, that started a foundation. I'm going to say that 84 days would be the amount of time that sets a new habit in place. So again, I'm guessing here. I don't know, but I'm just guessing.
Okay. So do you still have the roll of toilet paper in your hand?
Absolutely not. If I did, it'd be expensive stuff. So no, I do not. But I'm trying to start a new habit. So there you go. I believe that's my thought process to this from what you're proposing to us. I just think that would take 84 days to start to get a habit in place. Continuously doing something. Okay.
Okay. And that's a great stab at it. And I think Judy would say that we don't need 84 days to build a new habit.
Isn't the 83 days like? Isn't the 83 days 3 months, and then you get 1 day to do a massive call out or text messaging possibly? I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's actually in the first line, 12 weeks, then take 1 week off. See, if you do a 90-day game plan and you're planning to repeat, there's no time off. Now, certainly you can take the weekends off like Judy talked about, but still it becomes a grind, and a grind, as opposed to understanding that you're going to commit 12 weeks of consistent action, and then take a vacation. Take a 1 week vacation to get away from business completely, to go out, refresh your batteries, do things that you want to do, reward yourself for your hard efforts that you've done for 12 weeks, even build that into the whole process of what you're doing. But take that 1 week off so that you can come back and then repeat another 12 weeks, another 84-day game plan. And if you repeat that process over and over, at some point in time, you'll have created such momentum in your organization that it will serve you well for the rest of your life since you're with Synergy Worldwide. And I say that because Synergy Worldwide is one of the most stablest network marketing companies in the industry, because their parent company is Nature Sunshine Products. The commitment between Synergy Worldwide and Nature Sunshine Products, there's no one that I know of in the industry that has that type of commitment. Maybe there's some other companies that are out there that have that type of commitment, that are that rock solid. But Synergy Worldwide, Nature Sunshine is that rock solid, and we know the direction of where they're going. It's huge. And we're going to be able to ride that. So being able to have an 84-day game plan where you commit 12 weeks, my 12 weeks will start August the 1st. And I'll show you my game plan next week in what I'm going to be doing for the 12 weeks starting August 1st. And then once those 12 weeks are over, I'll take 1 week off, and then I'm going to come back and repeat that same process. And as you go through your game plan, always expect challenges. You know, we're in a business. There is no business that I know of in America that does not run into challenges. That is what successful businesses understand. You're always going to run into a challenge. The ones that don't fret it, but look forward to the challenges because they know that they're going to have to exercise their creativity and their skill sets to be able to work around that challenge or improve what they're doing to take that challenge away, those are the companies that end up being truly successful. It's a consistent daily action plan. You need to commit a minimum of an hour on a daily basis to your Synergy business. I'll show you what that looks like next week. To a maximum of 5 hours. Now, I do this on a full-time basis. So I'll be leaning more towards the 5 hour, not 5 hour energy because I have E9, but the 5 hour commitment of implementing my game plan on August the 1st to show you exactly what I'll be doing on a daily basis. I'll most likely take Sundays off in parts of Saturday. But Monday through Friday, that will be my daily plan of action. Again, I'll show you more of this next week. Know your exact target market. I'm going to show you what that target market is next week. Learn how to close people. Now, I'm going to give you an overall strategy tonight in terms of how to close people. Now, when we talk about closing people, we're not talking about car salesmen, although they're pretty good at what they do. We're talking about how to put information in front of people that they're going to close themselves. So here's the overall strategy. You need to identify the pain points. You need to use a series of questions. You need to offer a solution. And then you need to make your presentation. And pain points could be health issues, job issues, financial stress, lack of time with the family. There's so many different pain points that are out there. So it just becomes a series of questions. As you're talking with people and you're sensing that there's some issues in their life, especially if those issues center around health, you can use a series of questions to begin to identify that. The name of the person. Are you happy with your health? Or if you understand that they already have high blood pressure, you can say the name of the person. You don't sound too happy about having to take medication for your high blood pressure. Are you doing anything to change that? Is your plan working? Do you want a plan that works? Now, that's a basic framework. It doesn't mean that I'm going to use those exact same questions every time, but I'll use a variation of that process. Because what I'm trying to do in this whole process is help that person share a pain with me, identify that pain, identify what they're doing to change that pain, find out if what they're doing is actually working, and then if I'm getting, they have a pain, they're not happy about their pain, what they're trying to change that is not working, or what they're doing is not working, they're most likely then open to an alternative. And if they are, and tell me yes, then I've set myself up to offer a solution and increase my probability of having them allow me make a presentation. Now, to help you understand how this works, is there anyone on tonight's webinar that want to role play with me so you can see how this works?
Dan, it's in that. I'll role play with you.
Okay. So, did you put the toilet paper away?
It certainly is gone, everyone. Boy, what an impression I'm leaving. Gone for 2 weeks and wow. Okay, so I'm ready.
All right. So Nanette, give me the context of how we're meeting.
Give me the context. I have a family that has a history of diabetes, and I do not want to go there. So I'm still sort of like on the edge. I'm on the edge, so I have to be really careful, or else I'm going to have to start taking some sort of prescription medicine or insulin. So I do not want to go there. Okay.
So let's set the scene, Nanette. I know that you're back from your trip and you're on the shores of Lake Michigan, and I went up to Michigan City to get some R&R, and I'm on the I'm at one of those storefronts. I think there's a restaurant up there that's right there on the lake.
There is.
And we engage in conversation, and we get around to this thing about your family's issues with diabetes. So, Nanette, so I understand from what you're sharing with me that your family has diabetic issues. Is that something that you're concerned about for yourself personally?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea how much I am concerned about this. My grandmother had diabetes. I am shocked that my mother doesn't take more insulin for her diabetes and her eating habits. It's a concern. My little sister is borderline, and I don't want to go there. I mean, I think I've done everything I can to maintain very good health at my age. So that's just my history, Dan.
Okay, so your grandma, your mom both have diabetes. Your sister, did you say that your sister has diabetes?
She's close to having it. I mean, she's just days away from caving in and then being on more prescription medicine.
All right, so she's pre-diabetic, from what I understand from you.
Yes,
You're concerned, and you're concerned about yourself.
Yeah, so far I'm out of the woods, but I just don't want to go there. I don't think it's necessary. I just don't.
Okay, so when you say you're out of the woods, are you doing anything to help make sure that you don't end up with diabetes like pretty much everyone in your family that you've shared with me has?
Well, I would have to say this is what I do, Dan. Having just met you, I'm pretty athletic. I run a lot, and I lift weights, and I do yoga, and I swim outdoors and indoors, and just really good eating habits. I mean, for my age, I think that I'm in fairly good health. I don't take any prescription drugs at all. I do take protein powders. So that's something I like to do. Throw fruit in the blender with protein, and so that's something I do to increase my stamina and good health.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, Nanette, you're basically using exercise and good eating habits to help you prevent diabetes from getting a hold of you.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? I also take vitamin D. Yes, I take vitamin D every day. I take vitamin D.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you're doing some really good things to do that. So I guess I have a question. If I could show you another piece to the puzzle that would help you not only with your exercise program but also with your eating, and be able to help you even increase your probability of not having diabetes, would you be interested?
You know, I'd be interested as long as the product wasn't more than $120 a month. That would be the cap that I'd spend on something. I'm thinking you're going to tell me about a product. I don't know what else you would talk about. Maybe acupuncture or something. But if it's product-based, I would be open. But again, it really can't be more than $120 a month.
Okay. Well, before we even get to the product, because I do believe there's a product out there that can help you, my question to you, have you ever heard about nitric oxide therapy and how it can naturally address issues like diabetes and the complications of diabetes, as well as improve athletic performance?
Nitric oxide? Is this some sort of like pill or something? I have no idea what you're talking about. And I feel like I've been around and have seen things and heard things during my years in Chicago. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I can give you the long explanation, or I can give you what I think would be better. There's a video that I can send to you that will help you better understand nitric oxide therapy as it relates to diabetic complications and helping to reduce those complications, as well as improve athletic performance. But the short version of this, Nanette, is that nitric oxide therapy is going to improve blood flow. Improved blood flow from an athletic standpoint is going to help you use more oxygen to create more energy, less lactic acid, faster recoveries. And for a diabetic, as I improve blood flow, I'm going to do a better job absorbing the glucose out of my bloodstream. So what we find for most diabetics, in fact, I'll give you an example. I've got a diabetic client. His blood sugar numbers before he started using nitric oxide therapy with what the medical profession considers to be the best nitric oxide therapy supplement in the world, his blood sugar ran 210. Now his blood sugar runs 120. Significant improvement in his blood sugar, as well as the discoloration on his arms cleared up, his digestive issues cleared up, his energy increased, and he's in much better health than what he was 10 years ago.
Well, that's interesting. I'd be curious to know how old this gentleman is and how long that process took.
He's in his mid-80s, and the process for him to see his blood sugar go from 210 to 120 took about a 3-month period.
Wow. And I think somebody really can be youthful in their 80s. I don't think that has to be an old number this day and age, maybe 20 years ago. But, wow, that's interesting. I paused for a second because, wow, interesting.
So my question, Nanette, is this. I firmly believe that videos do a good job to help you visually see what's going on as well as hear what's going on. And if it's all right with you, what I'd like to do is get your email address, and I'll send you a link to a video on how nitric oxide therapy addresses diabetic issues, because you might find that of value to your mom and your grandma. And then I'll also send you a link to a video to help you understand how nitric oxide therapy can improve athletic performance, so that the things that you're currently doing from an exercise standpoint, you can get better results from your exercise program, as well as help you with your concerns about diabetes. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. I'm just thinking of the slew of people, including my guy who's like an avid golfer, who might be interested in this. So, my wheels are just spinning here. No, that'd be perfect. I take a lot of notes when I watch things, and sometimes I watch things a couple of times just so that I can grasp the concept. But yeah, go ahead. I'm going to do some research after we say goodbye when I leave in a few moments and head out of the restaurant about this. You said it's nitric oxide therapy. That's how you refer to it?
Yeah, I'll write it in the back of one of my business cards, but before I do that, could I get your email address?
Oh, sure. Sure. That's right. You had asked me for that. I forgot about that. So it's Nanette. That's N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy.
Here, I'll tell you what, Nanette.
What's it?
Here's a piece of paper and a pen. Why don't you write it down for me?
Yeah, that's
It'll make it a whole lot easier.
Okay, that sounds great. And it looks like your family's waiting for you at that table over there by the lake. So great to meet you, and I'll talk to you again.
Well, before you go, you got to write down that email
address.
Oh,
that's right, Nanette@healthy.com. Let me write that down for you, and then you can zip over and see your family. So I'm going to write that down for you. There it is. You're good to go.
Wait, Nanette, one last thing before you go. I don't want to be presumptuous on this, but do you mind sharing a cell phone number where I can follow up with you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's the greatest number in the world. 312-545-3575.
Okay. Nanette, thanks for taking time. Thanks for sharing about your family and some of the health issues that you guys have. And I'll make sure that I send this to you tomorrow, and then I'll plan to follow up with you in a couple days, okay?
Okay, great. Yeah, and we'll see you on the lakefront again maybe later this summer. Okay, take care. Great.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay,
Thanks.
great to meet you. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
So, anyone have any comments on the role-playing?
Great role playing. I thought that was great.
So
when you say
Tammy, when you say that was great, tell me what aspects of it helped you.
All right, let me look at my notes. It's just how let me see. Well, you were just concise. I mean, you gave great examples on. She said, Nanette had said that she had some diabetic issues. You had segued into an 80-year-old that had a 210 blood sugar, and within a 3-month period went to 120. I mean, it was quick and concise. It wasn't long and drawn out, but just quick and to the point. And I know a lot of people don't like. Yakking a lot, should I say? You just had enough where you kept her attention, and you got all the pertinent information that you needed to get.
Okay, and I didn't time it, but I'm looking at my clock on my computer, and I would imagine that if I go back and replay this, it was no longer than 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's about right.
Again, I didn't use the exact same questions that you see on the screen, but I used questions along that nature to gather enough information to be able to, I couldn't ask her a plan that works because she was already doing things that was working. So I had to take that last question of, do you want a plan that works? Because clearly she's doing things that is helping her not to have the diabetic issues that her mom and grandmother have. But what I did is I did a variation of that. Would you like to know about something that could enhance what you're doing, enhance your athletic performance, as well as enhance your ability to prevent diabetes? Have you ever heard about nitric oxide therapy? So again, I'd have to go back and listen to exactly what I said. I don't worry about having a memorized script. What I want to do is I want to know my general questions and how I can use a variation of those general questions and have a general idea of what my solution is going to center on, which is always nitric oxide therapy as a way to naturally address that issue. And then I've got a client similar to your situation. I didn't say it exactly that way, but I used a testimonial that would resonate with her. And then when she came back with the additional questions, I didn't have to use in my testimonial that the person took 3 months and that they were 85. I just shared the general aspects of the testimonial, the main important points, 210 to 120. That's what a diabetic is concerned about, their blood sugar numbers. When she came back and asked me questions about age and the amount of time it took, well, I know enough of that person's testimonial to be able to answer those questions for her. Donald, I think you were going to say something?
Yes, Dan. I hope that you've got time for one more. I'd like to come from a different perspective.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Let's do it.
Okay,
sure,
thanks.
We'll do it.
Okay.
So
Ready?
Tell me where we're coming from, Donald.
Okay, we're coming from... I shared proarginine with a friend and colleague over a year ago because he had some sexual issues.
Okay.
He, bought a couple of boxes from me. Thought it worked, but thought it was a little expensive, and he didn't bother to take any more.
Okay.
As I arrived back in the country on Sunday, I learned that he was rushed to the hospital sometime in the afternoon. I learned in the afternoon that he was rushed in the hospital during the day on Sunday. And he thought that he had a blood clot. That was the initial, like in the OR. And now in the last day or so, he learned that he had a mild heart attack. Okay. So I need to talk. I haven't visited him yet in the hospital, but when I go, I need to have a game plan to introduce nitric oxide to him now from the other and real perspective, other than the sexual.
Okay, so Donald, this is how I'm coming to visit you in the hospital, and you're the guy, and so this is how I would do it.
Okay.
So after we got through the pleasantries, I'd say, hey Donald, I want to have a heart-to-heart talk with you. Is it all right if we kind of pursue some things?
Sure.
Well, you know you got a couple boxes from me a year ago to help you with some of the sexual function issues, and I know from your response back to me that you got some benefits from that, but you felt that Pro Arginine Plus was a little bit expensive, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, you got benefits from a sexual health standpoint because that product helped create nitric oxide in your system.
Okay.
Now, for men, we can't have an erection without that nitric oxide, but I want you to understand this. Nitric oxide does two other very important, well, really three important things. First off, it creates vasodilation, which means that your blood vessels expand. I can't tell you whether that would have kept you from having a heart attack, but if your vascular system had a high level of nitric oxide in it, a couple things. One, you'd have good vasodilation, so the probability of a blood clot lodging would have been a whole lot less.
Right.
Secondly, nitric oxide actually keeps blood platelet cells from sticking together, so you most likely would have reduced the risk of that blood clot forming in the first place.
That's correct.
And then the third thing that nitric oxide does over a long period of time is it initiates reparative mechanisms to heal damage done to your vascular system, which means that you can see reversal of plaque formation and calcification. So some of those areas might have been improved where, again, that clot wouldn't have lodged even if it had formed. So what I'm suggesting to you, Donald, is, was the product really that expensive, or is your time here in the ER going to be pretty expensive?
The time in the ER is going to be pretty expensive.
All right. So
in retrospect, if this works as you said it would, then that was not expensive at all.
Well, and Donald, again, I'm not here to try and sell you a product while you're here in the ER. What I'm here to do is offer you a solution, a way about addressing this issue naturally so that hopefully you never have to return here, that you can go home and that you can begin to improve your cardiovascular health, and in that whole process also see all the other aspects of your life improve because you have good blood flow. And the beauty of this product, Pro Arginine Plus, it's actually listed in the physician's desk reference. And doctors see this product as beneficial. It's been in the physician's desk reference for 3 years. It's also the only clinically proven product. Last year when I saw you, I couldn't have told you clinically proven. But Synergy Worldwide has done additional studies on their product in peer-reviewed clinical research. It's now clinically proven, and here's one important area that you need to understand. It's clinically proven to prevent vascular inflammation, which is what typically leads to plaque formation, which then down the road over time leads you to be exactly where you're at right now today in the hospital because you suffered a heart attack.
True, thanks.
So I just really believe in this product. Now, you'll need to make your decision with you and your wife and decide if this is something that you want to do. Certainly, if you need to talk to your doctor, I respect that. If your doctor wants to talk to me, great. I'd be more than happy to show him. He can go to the PDR, Physician's Desk Reference. He'll find it there in the Physician's Desk Reference. He'll find the first line that says ProArginine Plus is the highest quality L-arginine supplement in the world. And as I've shared with you before, what did my physician do when I came to him because I had poor blood flow in my legs? I had PAD, peripheral arterial disease. What did my physician do? He got me on L-arginine as a natural way of addressing that. And within 6 weeks, I had a 50% improvement in blood flow. I wish my brother would have listened to me, because he'd most likely still be alive today if he would have listened to me.
Yeah.
That's what L-arginine, that's what a properly formulated L-arginine product can do. And when I started using ProArginine Plus, I got even better improvements in blood flow, to the point where my physician told me on my last visit, Donald, you have the arteries of a 29-year-old.
Yeah, quite true.
So I just want to offer that as a potential product that you can help, that I truly believe can bless your life with better health.
I thank you, Dan. And I also, just to let you know, I've got some information. I've got the newspaper from the High Desert Health Institute, so I'll be taking that over to leave with him to read while he's, because he's going to be in there for another 5 days. I spoke with him today.
Okay.
So thank you for that.
And I'm assuming that you know him pretty well, because I was kind of blunt with you.
Oh, absolutely. And I wanted you to be, because I shared that he was a good friend. He is a good friend and colleague. So you hit all the points that I'm going to hit. And because he shared his sexual experience with me, which means that we were close enough for him to do that. So I can be even more blunt.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Donald?
No. I thank you for that.
Okay. We're at the end of the webinar for tonight. Next week will be part 3. I'm actually going to show you my overall game plan, and I'm going to show you some of the platforms that we've been working on. Again, when I show you next week's plan, that doesn't mean that you have to do what I'm doing, because you can segment what I'm doing, and I'm going to show you what that means next week's presentation. Do I have any other questions or comments from anyone on tonight's call before we say goodnight?
My comment is to Nanette for taking the other side of those foundations, taking the first side so that I could have taken the other side, and I want to thank her for participating tonight.
You're always so gracious. I appreciate that, and I just wish you the best. I wish you the best. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ilan, for your comment in the chat box. Anyone else have anything before we say goodnight? Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for being on our call tonight. I'll look forward to talking to you next Wednesday night as we continue this process of helping you build your infrastructure so that you can build a huge synergy organization. Thank you, everyone. Good night now.
Good night now. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dan.